What's up, Broncos country, and welcome to another edition of the Orange Weekly Post-Game Podcast. My name is Kevin, and I am here with Rob, and we're going to be breaking down this embarrassing and painful loss against the Chargers in the Week 17 matchup. Broncos lost 34-13 on the road, keeping the Chargers' playoff hopes alive while eliminating ourselves from the playoffs officially, even though, we were pretty much out before that. So, Rob, how you doing, man?
Kevin, I'm telling you, it's the same shit, different week, brother. I'm not surprised. Like Nate Diaz said, not surprised, motherfuckers. That's all I got to say. It's heartbreaking, but it is what it is.
Yep. No, it's a combination of just everything that, has been the Broncos for the past, I don't even say, you could say 3 years specifically, but, looking back the last 6 years in total. But under the Vic Fangio era, everything that could have gone wrong, more or less, did go wrong. We'll talk about it in a little bit, but some positives there with Drew Lock. We'll talk about how many people we were missing with COVID and everything, but those be a lot to talk about, and of course we'll want to talk about what we foresee happening a week from now on Black Monday. So,
Black Monday.
So stick right there, and we'll be back here on the Orange Weekly Post Game Podcast. Okay, Rob. So here we are again. Broncos are now 7-9. We are not only eliminated from the playoffs, but we are officially in yet another losing season. So, as we always do, because this is just how we do the post-game podcast, let's rewind a little bit and take ourselves back to about an hour before game time. How were you feeling? What were some of your thoughts going into this game?
Well, for our Orange Weekly listeners, Kev, Dan, and I also did the tailgate talk for that game. But I was I was hopeful because we beat them last time, and so I thought very momentarily we had a game plan to shut them down again, but unfortunately Shermer did Shermer things. And our defense did okay-ish.
Yeah, no,
special teams sucked again. Thanks, Tom McMahon. Get him the fuck out of town.
Special teams definitely killed us.
Oh yeah, but other than that, again, I hate to sound like a broken record, but it's every week you prepare for the worst and hope for the best. And I really, really, really hope that we have a hell of a turnaround this offseason with possible new coach, possible OC, definitely new special teams coach. Like, I can't emphasize that enough.
Right.
But we just got to see what happens, and just got to roll with the punches, man. Hashtag dead inside.
Hashtag dead inside.
Cheers.
Agreed. Sad stat I didn't realize. So we know that we haven't beat the Chiefs since Fangio took over. Well, we haven't beat the Chiefs in longer than that. But in the Vic Fangio era, we have only won one game between the Chargers and the Chiefs combined. Yes.
How the hell do you win one game between two teams?
1-10 in those matchups, with the 12th game coming up this next week against. So, the Chargers have swept us twice in the first 2 years under Vic Fangio. We beat them once this year. This was the first time that Vic Fangio has beat the Chiefs since he was head coach. But that's it. So between those two teams, we've only won once. And if you're looking at George Peyton trying to make a decision on what to do, and not only, were we going to make the playoffs or not, but how do we handle playing in our division? Vic Fangio in our division is absolutely atrocious. Absolutely atrocious.
Yeah. God, I really wish you would have told me that. I was like, Oh, it's not that bad. No,
Oh,
Vic
bad.
Fangio is historically bad in the AFC West. He
Yep.
has the most losses against AFC West teams,
Mhm.
and that's unexcusable. That there's no reason for it. There's no reason for it. 3 teams that we play twice a year. We should know them for the majority, like the back of our freaking hand, and that's just absolutely ridiculous.
Right.
Absolutely ridiculous.
It is. Another stat there is this year, I'm sure we all saw it on the TV. Vic Fangio is 1 for 8 on coaches' challenges this year now.
Might
Which
as well be 0-8. Shit.
I am guessing is, if not the worst in the league, one of the worst in the leagues.
God.
Yep.
Somebody needs to send him coaching in the NFL for dummies.
So here's the thing: like, he is going to be very, very, very sought after. Look, I am operating under the assumption that he is gone after this year because there's just too much evidence and too many things going on for to counter any positives you have to say about the guy. He may be liked and respected amongst the players, but this team just has not improved or moved forward in a division that has been totally kicking our ass for 6 years. you know um you're hoping that after Vance Joseph that Vic Fangio would come in and turn things around and build a better defense, which he's done. um but under his head coaching itself, it just has not worked. And so basically George Payton needs to look at the situation and say, what can we do to become competitive in this division? And again, this goes to the conversation of that we're going to be having a lot when it comes to who are we going to hire as a new head coach, what are we going to do at quarterback. But to get competitive immediately, I think a lot of it comes down to the type of head coach you hire and selling out for Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson, preferably Aaron Rodgers. You do that, you are immediately competitive in this division, and probably winning the majority of those games. If you go through the draft to get a quarterback, you're looking at probably another 1-2 years, potentially more than likely, of still struggling in this division.
Yeah, Kev, I don't quite understand how fans like the Detroit Lions fans, the Jaguars fans, the Browns fans. I don't know how these teams deal with this season in and season out. Now, granted, Denver has been spoiled at the quarterback position for, I don't want to say a long time, but I mean, we went from John Elway winning back-to-back Super Bowls. We
Yep.
did the QB carousel, the coach carousel, and then the name that shall not be said, royally fucked us over. And I know my mom's watching, so she's probably going to yell at me for swearing too much, but that's okay. I'll take it.
That's okay.
But and then we miraculously landed Peyton Manning, and I think I've said this in previous shows, but I was not a fan of Peyton Manning getting drafted, or not drafted, but signed to Denver. I was very concerned. He didn't play for a whole year. He had multiple neck surgeries. I was like, this is just you got to show me,
Yeah.
And the first few games, I was like, I don't know if he's got it. And then we just went on a fucking tear. So, he definitely made me a believer. Didn't like him when he was in Indianapolis because he was beating our ass all the time.
Well, yeah.
But, when he came to Denver.
Guy,
oh, yeah, no, absolutely. But, with the way that he approaches the game and I still think, and a lot of people hate when I say this, and I'll take the hate all day long, but I still feel like if they would have kept Tim Tebow and let Peyton Manning tool him and take him under his wing, Tebow would still be the quarterback of this team and we would still be winning games. I still might be having a coronary, but we'd still be winning games.
Yep. It's it's one of those things that you never know. And you're looking at that situation of we bring in knock on wood, and I am all in on just holding out hope this happens. Aaron Rodgers, the situation that you have Drew Lock. He has starting experience. He's still young. He can learn a lot under Aaron Rodgers. And now you potentially can set yourself up for success for the inevitable day that Aaron Rodgers would retire, in 4-5 years or so.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And the whole point, and George Payton, I can guarantee you, knows, the Broncos culture, the history, and he knows that this is something that the Broncos have struggled with twice now in our history, of after losing a big name quarterback, that we just, we are fumbling around and staggering around from quarterback to quarterback for years on end. And so having a plan in place to prevent that is going to be at the forefront of his mind, for sure. Now, how he goes about doing that, whether it's through Aaron Rodgers or getting somebody through the draft that we can grow and develop ourselves, is yet to be seen. And I think a lot of us going to, we're going to have a good indication of where this is probably going to go once we see who we hire as a new head coach. Again, assuming that's what actually ends up happening.
Yeah, I agreed 100%. I brought it up to you last time. I think he still has another year, possibly 2 on his contract, if I remember correctly. So that's going to play a big. It's going to play a part. I don't want to say a big part, because honestly, with the way things have gone, I think George Payton will just say, and cut ties and let's go find our guy. But I definitely the majority of the blame is on the coaching and the play calling and that area. There's a small part of blame on the players, and that's and I love my team. I love everybody on the team, but there are some things that you can look at and go, yeah, I don't know if he was in his playbook as much as he should have been, type of situation. But with that being said, I know it's the last game. We got nothing to play for, but, they're going to go out there. They're going to give their best and, and see what happens. Right. They are playing Kansas City in Denver this weekend. For some reason, I blacked out and thought it was, Kansas City. But, you so wisely corrected me, Kev Dan, and I appreciate that. But, I don't know, man. I'm adapting David's, method, #dead inside.
I'm happy that I've done that. Actually, it's kept me calm, versus, and, throughout the last couple of weeks, especially, just like, oh, well, okay, versus screaming at the TV. I'll say,
yeah, but sometimes screaming at the TV just makes you feel better, just a little bit.
Sometimes. I've been doing that way too much this year, and it's like, you know what, we're just gonna move on with our lives. But you said it was maybe a small part, problems with the players. I'd say it's like a 60-40. Coaches 60, players 40, because there's definitely some execution things out there. How many dropped passes?
How many dropped punts?
How many missed field goals? Like, Brandon McManus just made a 61-yarder, his longest field goal in his career, which is fantastic, and I love the guy. He was placed on the COVID list today, by the way, so that is awesome.
Who else can kick? Do we have a coach that can kick? Get a cheerleader out there. I don't give a shit.
Right, do something, man. So we'll see. I don't know, but it's, we're not going to be able to make 61-yard field goals this week. We're not in field goal range unless we're at the 25 or closer.
Hey, I still think they should just let his ass take a shot at 65 just to bring the record home.
That'll be next year. It's not going to be this year. So I'm assuming he's going to be on the COVID list through the week. He might be able to, clear it by Saturday and play on Sunday. We'll see. I don't know.
Well, no, the game got flexed. The game is Saturday.
That's right. See, here you are correcting me now. I got knew that. Brother. I sent it to you guys this morning. I sent it to the friend I'm taking to the game. I was like, hey, make sure you move things around so you can go to the game with me still. And here you are correcting me. So, see, we all need it.
Hey, one hand washes the other, brother. That's how we do.
That's how we do, especially me. I'm the one that usually needs correcting, so it's okay. But yeah, so I mean, and then you look at special teams, and special teams has absolutely killed us this week. We gave up that 101-yard kickoff return, which is the first time the Chargers have done that since 2012. 2012, man, 9 years ago.
Hey, look,
they haven't had a single kickoff return.
I love Brandon McManus. Him and Matt Prater and Jason Elam are by far my favorite kickers. Yes, I'm opinionated and my opinion is biased, but Brandon McManus needs to work on his sprints in the offseason because he started sprinting and then just kind of gave up. He was like, he ain't gonna catch him. And I mean, I get it. You don't want to pull a hammy. You don't want to pull a quad. I totally get it. But shit, you could have tried to at least run a little faster than that. Like, I know you got a couple kids, but damn.
At this point, man, and I think the game was kind of already running away from us at that point. But I mean, you look right off the bat. I think he's the one who did make the stop on the kickoff to start the game.
He did. He did.
Ran it back to the 40. The McManus is the one that stopped him there. He got through all of our special. The returner got through all of our special teams twice in this game, essentially. So I'll give Brandon 1 for 2 there. It shouldn't be coming down to the kicker twice in the same game. It just
absolutely. The kicker is the last line of defense, and if he gets to the kicker, you're all done and fucked up. Period.
Yep.
I still love him, but McManus, hit the sprints, brother.
Right. There you
go. Find that third gear.
We'll see what the new special teams coach does. So.
Oh God! Sure. Please let it be somebody good.
It can't be worse than Tom McMahon.
I don't think you and I could coach special teams better than that.
I could coach special teams as good as Tom McMahon. I'm not going to say better, but I would.
I'm going to say better. I'm going to say better.
I would do it for a whole lot cheaper.
Oh shit, bro! You give me,
and you'd get the same result.
Hey, bro, you give me league minimum. My short ass would go out there in pads and look across the line and be like, "I'm coming for you."
I'd just be carrying around special teams for dummies and referencing that, and you pay me, $200,000 a year. I'd be happy. I'd be on the sidelines. I'd be coaching, and you'd get the same result. People would be like, yeah, but at least I'm not supposed to be here. Man, who is apparently like an actual coach. Who it's like, how are you a coach? I don't.
What's that one commercial? How'd you guys get here? We stayed in the Holiday Inn last night.
Yeah, that's pretty much. Yeah. I stayed in the team's hotel, and they picked me up. They're like, hey, we need something. I was like, all right, cool. Yeah, man. So there's just. It's kind of tough because there are just so many questions about this team right now that we don't really know which direction we're going to go until Black Monday. Look, when we record this post-game podcast next week for the Chiefs game, we'll know whether Vic Fangio is still going to be around or not. If he's not fired on Monday, he's sticking around. If it's Monday evening and we have no news of Vic Fangio being fired, he's sticking around. Guarantee it. It's one of those things where by now, George Payton has made up his mind. He knows. It's not going to be let's see if we can beat the Chiefs. That's no. First off, I'm sorry. I love the Broncos. I love my boys, but it's not going to happen. It is not going to happen. There's no way.
Bro, the entire starting lineup, both offensively and defensively, would have to get put on the COVID list tomorrow.
Yeah. And give us a chance to that would give us a chance.
A chance.
That would give us a chance.
That would give us a fighter's chance. Right now, they're playing all their starters. No fucking chance. I've tried to wear the orange sunglasses, as Jared says, the orange goggles. I have tried to be hopeful. I've tried to be positive. But at some point, you just realize, you're tired of beating a dead horse. No pun intended.
Let's see. Right now, we are 9.5-point underdogs. If all of the Chiefs starters went out, we might bump up to being 1-point favorites. Like, I seriously think that's how bad it would be.
Where did you find that on?
Looking at DraftKings. DraftKings is saying we are 9.5-point underdogs.
DraftKings, big supporter of Orange Weekly.
It's not as bad as the Jaguars, who are 15-point underdogs.
Bro, they got a 50 burger dropped on them.
They sure did.
I didn't think it was that bad, and I had to.
We're not the worst in the league for this next week, but we are second worst in terms.
Bro, it's close. Just taking a look at these stats. We had 27 attempts for 83 yards rushing in total. Mm-hmm. The Chargers had 35 for 104. So, Kev, I think you're onto something. I think whatever team rushes the ball more than 30, 33 times, inevitably seems to win the game. So, I think you're onto something there. Drew Lock was 18 to 25 for 245, which isn't bad. He had one tutty, no interceptions again, 2 weeks in a row. To me, that screams improvement.
Yeah.
Moving down the list here to the receivers, you're already looking at the stats, but without looking at the stats, you would think, we got a wide receiver as our number one receiver. Wrong! Noah Fant, 6 for 92 with a tutty out of 7 targets. So, he only had one drop pass. Way to go, Noah Fant. Then we got Cortland Sutton, 3 for 60. No touchdowns, unfortunately, with 5 targets. So he had a couple drop passes.
Yep.
And then Drew Lock, believe it or not, was on the receiving end of a pass from Kendall Hinton, our emergency backup quarterback.
Right.
Good for him. But I'm not gonna lie, I was surprised that they ran a play like that, but I wasn't surprised that the Chargers defended it as well as they did.
They were all over it.
I think if the defender gave Hinton half a second longer,
I get that ball out clean. And Drew Lock would be able to catch it and would have been right there on the goal line when he caught it.
He could have just caught it and fell.
Yeah, exactly. All he would have had to do is catch. I mean, the way it was, and the way it was thrown as he was getting hit, made Drew Lock stop versus continue forward, which is where Hinton was going to throw to, which would have been in the end zone. We essentially gave up 11 points. So we missed that touchdown, that 4th down conversion. We settled for a field goal the second time we were down there. So there's 11 points there that we left off the board. And based off of our 13 that we did score in the game. So that would have put us to 24 points. And then you take away the special teams. That would have been a score of 24 to 27. It's a much closer game that we could have managed to, try and come away with a win, or at least tie it there at the end. But the failure in special teams, the failure to score touchdowns, Pat Shurmur and Tom McMahon. I mean, why was Tom McMahon brought back? That says a lot more negative about Fangio than it does Tom McMahon himself. Tom McMahon is just not a good coach. But it was an even worse call for Fangio to bring back Tom McMahon. And that tells me that he's going to ride and die with his crew. And he is currently dying with his crew. I guarantee, and Jared makes fun of me for this and absolutely disagrees with me, but I would bet money that if George Payton was like, you have 2 options. You can stay as long as you replace Tom McMahon and Pat Shurmur, or you can leave with the 2 of them. Fangio would say, nope, I'm leaving with both of them then.
Hey.
Guarantee it.
Thanks for everything. Thanks for nothing. Yep. See ya.
Bye. See ya. One, he's not going to get that option. I really don't think so. And look, I can appreciate being loyal, but to a point, man. To bring back Tom McMahon shows that you're an incredibly loyal to your crew. but you are not a good boss. You're not a good head coach right there. I mean, that is a situation where you say our special teams absolutely killed us. We have got to move on. I, as a head coach, am making this decision to bring in somebody new to try and change our special teams. And he said, no, I like you, man. We're going to stick with you. Well, that has absolutely killed Vic Fangio this year again.
Kevin, I swear on everything holy, if Tom McMahon is back next year, Denver will riot.
Oh, I will probably be the one leading that riot.
I will fly out there and join you. This is bullshit! Ah!
Tear it all down. They're going to build a new stadium someday anyway. Jeez. We'll just help you get started. Bucky, start driving them out to the airport, because that's where the new airport or the new stadium's going to be,
Just string Miles up on the fucking goalpost. Damn you, Miles! Damn you!
God. So, I don't know, man. I'm trying to, looking at the game, we all saw what happened. It was ugly all the way around. Again, the Broncos, and there's going to be people out there saying, look, you're not giving them any credit for the fact that we had so many people out on the COVID list. Here's my answer to that. I don't give a shit. I don't. In terms of the fact that we played poorly because of it. Obviously, I hope they're okay and they get better, blah, blah. But you absolutely cannot use that as an excuse. Look at Indy. Indy had a ton of starters out on the COVID list. Went to Arizona and beat Arizona. Okay?
Yes, sir. You are correct.
Good teams find ways to win games that they absolutely need to win. How many games have we been in this year that we absolutely needed to win? Probably 4 or 5. We have lost all 4 or 5 of those games. So I do not care what the injury or the COVID status was. This is a piss poor managed team, and it shows on the field. It shows in the management of the coaching organization. I mean, it's absolutely apparent everywhere you look. And for anybody that's listening right now that says you should give them credit for the COVID list, dude, stop it. Slap your own wrist. Bad on you.
No. Bad.
Stop it.
Yeah, for the listeners, Kev is shaking his head so many times. I'm afraid he might give himself an aneurysm of some kind.
God.
But Kev, I'm really glad that you brought up Indy. I want to give a shout out to the Pat McAfee show. They showed a clip from Hard Knocks of Indy, and the coaching staff was in the room, and a player, got put on the COVID list. I believe it was Quentin Nelson. Yeah, that's his name, isn't it? Yeah, that's the offensive lineman. And the coach, kind of sat there for a minute, and he kind of thought, and he goes, okay. He goes, I like a challenge. And that's the way our coaching staff needs to think. We got 13 players and one coach on the COVID list. Okay, we're going to have to change the game plan and adapt your fucking play calling and your scheme to fit the players that you have on the field. And they didn't do that. They didn't do that at all. They didn't even do it at halftime.
No, they never do that at halftime.
Well, no, we've seen them come out and we've seen them play a little different.
Okay. No. I'm going to stop you there. To come out at halftime after playing shitty in the first half to play better in the second half is not a halftime adjustment. That is just playing better. I do not categorize that as.
How do you not categorize that as what?
Because there's no mental part of, okay, hey, here's what the other team's doing. Here's how we're going to adjust our defense, our offense, how we're calling plays. They're just going to go out there. If your halftime adjustment is, hey, guys, go play better, that's an absolutely stupid thing. You shouldn't even have to say that.
Well, Kev, I'm pretty sure.
As a halftime adjustment? No.
I'm pretty sure it's more than, hey, guys, we need to go out there and play better. Like, I'm pretty sure there's more that goes into it than that. But I get what you're saying. I understand. I didn't mean to trigger you.
Broncos have triggered me this whole year.
Goose Fraba.
After the Eagles game and after, the first
game. At least we didn't have to play the Mac. At least we didn't have to play the Mac Jones led Patriots and lose to their ass.
Oh God, yeah. Don't get me started on that. Don't get me started on that.
Mac Jones.
So I don't know. That's kind of where I'm at. Like, look, we got the Chiefs coming to town. I'm expecting. Some people are saying they're expecting up to 20,000 no-shows. I think that number is going to be a lot lower, only because a lot of Chiefs fans are going to be traveling for this game and are going to show up and buy those tickets. I think it's going to be almost. I would not be surprised if it's like a 50-50 split in the stands of orange versus red. I really wouldn't. Because there are huge playoff implications on the line for the Chiefs. Being a Saturday game, they don't, they're going to have to wait to see on Sunday if the Titans lose, because the Titans need to lose and Chiefs need to win for them to get that number 1 seed. So they're going to be playing all out on Saturday. I'm going to guess it's going to be more like, 9 to 10,000 no shows, but, a good number of seats are going to be going to Chiefs fans. And you can go ahead and blame me. I'm part of the problem. But I had this plan since the beginning of the season.
Up.
Okay. I was already going to bring her. Okay. Since the start of the season. It's our thing. I take her to the game where the Chiefs play the Broncos because that's just what we do. And so anyway.
I was going to say maybe the Titans are playing somebody worth the shit, but I look at the schedule and, well, they're playing the Texans. Hey, the Texans beat the Chargers. Oh, God, that just made our loss even worse, Kev.
Yeah, don't say that.
God damn it.
But yes, I mean, we got a lot of stuff to talk about that's going to come down the pike for all of our other shows and podcasts and the pregame podcasts and everything. And I do want to remind everyone, don't forget about our Monday Night Orange Weekly After Dark that starts after Monday Night Football or around 9 p.m. Tuesday Night Bourbon Broncos, no BS, that starts at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. We got the postgame podcast, the pregame podcast. We got the tailgate talk, which starts an hour before kickoff. We got the original live halftime show for the Broncos called the Halftime Hash. And once the season's over, don't think that we just disappear and go away for the offseason. We will be around. We got a lot of stuff. We're going to have, it sounds like a, what do you call it? Soapbox show where we're all gonna
the bitch fest.
The bitch fest. We're gonna have a bitch fest show at the end of the season, or we're all just gonna it's gonna be our chance. And here's my plan with this: as we go on there, anybody who wants to join us in terms of like commenting their grievances, typing out everything you want to bitch about in terms of the Broncos, but then we got to move past it. At this, whatever it is, no more complaints after that. Like, move on.
Hey, the show could be 3 hours long, and we could be just liquored up like a son of a bitch.
It very well might be. But
can we plan on doing that on a Friday when I don't have to go into work the next day?
We'll figure something out. Then we'll also be doing no announcement on what day yet, but end of January we'll be doing our fan appreciation episode. So make sure you tune in. It's probably going to be either the 18th or the 25th, probably January 25th, that Tuesday night, which is our normal, Bourbon Broncos No BS show night. So you can tune in for that. We'll be doing giveaways and just hanging out with everybody. We'll have some special guests. Not going to name them yet because they're not confirmed, but we have a list of names that people we know that have said they will be on the show previously. So we just got to line up and make sure that they can actually be there. So got that. And then, of course, when it comes to the free agency and draft and all that stuff, whenever there's breaking news, look, when the Broncos announce who the head coach is going to be, we're going to be going live that night. We're still going to be pushing out podcasts. So it's not going to be, every single week that you hear from us during the off season, but we will be around during the busy parts of the off season. And you can count on us to be there and provide you some awesome content as best as we can anyway. So
Kev can only be away from doing this for so long before he winds up bored and takes up crocheting.
That. Well, maybe not crocheting, but there is.
But you thought about it.
No, I have not thought about crocheting.
Don't let him fool you.
This being our 6th year, it is that time of year where I'm kind of like, I won't say I'm worn down, but it's like we're not in the playoffs again. We're talking about the same crappy stuff over and over again. So it's kind of like, I would like a break. But then, 2 weeks after the end of the season, I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, I'm bored now. Like, I want football to come back.
Kev, don't forget, we do have some interesting things coming down the pipeline. Hint, hint, wink, wink. We are working on Orange Weekly merch. So for anybody who's interested, keep an eye out for that. Make sure you have notifications turned on YouTube. You'll get a notification every time we go live. Same thing with Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and I think we even sometimes throw our show up on Twitch every now and then, if I'm not mistaken.
We do.
So, we're covering all the platforms. And, if we can get Jared's ass to not have COVID, he can start his OnlyFans page.
I've been trying to get him to start that for years. He keeps promising me things, and then he just never follows through on them. Like,
lying bastard.
I'm working on it. I'm trying to get, my body back in shape, or I'm trying to wait for this awesome wife beater shirt to come in so that my first he's like, my first video is gonna be me ripping it off, and he just never does. He never follows through with any of these.
Well, those 12-ounce curls, man, they're a hell of a thing.
They are. But what do I know about that?
Kev, we know plenty.
I do know plenty. I'm not even okay, well, with that, a little shorter podcast, but I think we've kind of covered everything. And again, I don't want to spend a lot of energy talking about, going into all of the possibilities of where the Broncos could go, because, I just rather, once we have those answers, we can spend a lot more time talking about it versus sit here and speculate. So, Rob, what other things do you have on your mind, or anything else about the Broncos, man?
So, I mean, honestly, it's just a kind of wait and see with them right now. And I hope that we have a great offseason. I hope that George Peyton, makes a strong push for for Aaron Rodgers first. But I think he's going to be the first domino to fall. Once we see what happens with that, then everybody else will kind of know what they're doing, and I just hope that George Peyton is a little bit ahead of the game. I'm definitely looking forward to the draft, seeing where we go with that, and especially free agent re-signing. I mean, we have, I don't even remember the number right now, I'd have to look it up, but we have quite a few free agents that I think deserve to come back, honestly. Like I said, in a future podcast, we'll have to kind of go down the list and kind of talk about each one of them. But the fact that we have our core receiver group coming back next year after KJ Hamler comes back from injury, we have two killer tight ends, and we have a 1-2 combo at running back, which may or may not happen. Melvin Gordon, to me, seems like he's kind of trailing off a little bit, but if we were to get rid of him and keep Mike Boone in there, I think Boone and Williams would definitely be a great combo to have. I'm really hopeful for the off season, and crossing my fingers for some good moves and some good luck to come back towards the Broncos. So
it'll happen. It's going to happen, and so I tell you what. Sticking with the team through these crappy times, it hurts and it sucks, but man, when we're back on top, it's going to feel a whole hell of a lot better than somebody who just jumps on board once the team starts doing well again. So have faith, it'll get there. I think under George Payton, we have a pretty damn good chance. I like what he's done so far. No reason for me to not trust him. And so we'll see again what he does, like you said, with free agency, with the quarterback situation, with the coaching situation. We're going to have a whole lot better idea of who George Payton is and what his mindset is after this offseason, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely agree with you on that. And, like I've said before, win, lose, or draw, it's orange and blue till they put me in the ground. So, yeah, we just got to wait and see. It's the shitty time of the year. Like you were saying, we're not in the playoffs, and now we're, hell, at least I get to actually enjoy the Super Bowl, and hopefully the Patriots don't make it again.
No,
God, I hate them.
Don't. I don't want to imagine that.
Bro, I'd rather see the Lions in the Super Bowl than anything.
Well, yeah, I mean that's something that's never going to happen. So I'd rather see Jupiter up close with my own eyes. Like, that's never going to happen. Like, I think human space travel to Jupiter is going to happen before the Detroit Lions are in a Super Bowl. Like,
hey, it's funny that you brought that up because a coworker of mine, and I don't even know how he came upon this, but apparently for $64 million, you can get a ride in SpaceX and go to space.
It's on my bucket list. I just need the $64 million.
Come on, Jeff Bezos.
Jeez. Well, once he buys the Broncos, the stadium will be in space. He'll be providing the space flights up to the stadium and from the stadium.
Bro, I don't even know if I want that to happen. I think I would rather have Jay-Z buy the team.
Dude, and so that's a whole nother thing. We didn't even touch on the ownership thing today, and that's a whole nother.
That's a show in itself.
That is. It really is. So we'll see. There's a lot of changes coming up for the Broncos. We just got to wait and see and spend a lot of time talking about what it means when it happens versus sit here and speculate and then probably not even be close to what happens,
Yeah.
So, but
anyway. Kev, it's about that time, my friend.
It is. Thanks, Rob. Thanks for everything. Appreciate it, man. To all our listeners, again, thank you so much for listening. Make sure you listen, you follow us, you subscribe us, give us a 5-star review. Check out our other live content on Monday, Tuesdays, and on game days. So, of course, our game shows will be on Saturday instead of Sunday. But just keep out for that. And who knows? Maybe the Broncos will win and spoil the Chiefs' fun. But I'm gonna be at the game. I'm gonna be cheering my ass off. I'm gonna be losing my voice again. It's probably gonna be for naught. I recognize that, but I will be doing my best. And we'll see. But so, Rob, thanks again. And I think there's nothing else to say other than a very strong
Go Broncos.
Take care, everyone.